Yes, I'm in funeral gear today because this is the end. Farewell, my friend. With the launch of the new Superblast 3, a shoe so different in so many important ways to the two models that have come before it, the Superblast is no more. And you will either love or hate the new model. If you loved the Superblast 2, you will most likely not love the Superblast 3. However, if you're one of those people who thought the Superblast 2 was way too solid, way too firm, then the Superblast 3 might be a shoe that you will very much enjoy. Particularly now that this shoe has changed so dramatically. So, Superblast lovers, while we mourn our loss, let's slip into something a little bit more comfy and have a chat. Alright, that's better. I'm Chris from Run with Benny, a journalist who likes to cut through the marketing hype and tell it like it really is. To do that, we buy all of our own shoes to review, which meant this little episode was a tiny bit expensive but very much worth it. So here it is, the Superblast 3 in the two different colorways that are available in Australia right now. There is another black and white version available elsewhere, but not in Australia. In Australia there is this particular colorway called Seashell Coral, which is, in real life, much more beautiful than it looks online. It really is a very classy looking shoe. Then there is the Cobalt Burst colorway, which is going to take a little bit of getting used to. I'll start by running through the stats very quickly. Superblast 3 has had 1.5mm added to its stack, with 46.5mm at the back and 38.5mm at the front for an 8mm drop. On my dodgy kitchen scales and in my US 9.5, the shoe comes in at 229 grams or 8.08 ounces, which is truly amazing for such a massive shoe. But this is also one of my issues with this shoe. Because of its enormous size, it really does feel like you're wearing a boat on each foot. The shoe actually does not feel quite as light as it is. You tend to feel the volume of the shoe. You feel the size of the shoe, and that takes away from that feeling of lightness. Still, because of that volume, everything about this shoe is incredibly luxurious and extremely comfortable. From the heel cup, which takes a new shape and loses the pull tab, to the gusseted tongue, to the groovy new lacing system, which is probably easier to see on the blue version of the shoe, to the new upper material, which is extremely fancy looking, has lots of different layers, but at the same time, it's so over-engineered that it removes a lot of the breathability. The Superblast 2 breathes much better than this version of the shoe. But this is all fine. When you step into the Superblast 3, it feels as if you've stepped into a Rolls Royce. You know that wherever you're going, and no matter how your feet land on the way there, you are going to arrive in comfort. The midsole is FF Leap foam above a thinner layer of FF Blast Plus. Now the Leap foam is Asics Elite Racing foam. It's its highest performance foam, but don't go thinking you're going to get a racing performance outcome from this particular shoe. That would be a terrible mistake, and I will explain why in just a minute. The outsole is fine, absolutely grippy enough. It is strangely noisy, but nothing that a pair of earbuds won't fix. So then we come to the running experience in the Superblast 3, and this is where, for me, the shoe starts to fall down a little bit. For the first time, a Superblast is a little bit unstable. That shouldn't be surprising in a shoe that is 46.5mm tall, but the Superblast has never been unstable. Until now. Even walking around the house in the Superblast 3 is less comfortable because of of the shoe's instability. And turning corners as you run is something you actually need to think about when you're wearing the Superblast 3. Previously, the width of the Superblast made it incredibly stable, but that has not been able to save the Superblast 3 from being a little bit unstable, partly because of the extra height and partly because of the extra squishiness of the Leap foam. That Leap foam in the midsole provides a softer landing than we have ever had in a Superblast shoe. And I'm talking a significantly softer landing. And the Leap foam in the Superblast 3, unlike Leap foam in other Asics shoes such as the Metaspeed Sky, Edge and Ray Tokyo, does not do much in the way of bouncing back. Your feet at each step sink in comfortably, very comfortably, and then the shoe just kind of rolls you forwards. It is a very comfortable experience. It is a luxurious experience, but it is absolutely not a fast experience. But I don't want to hammer this shoe. I don't want to turn people off it. It is an incredibly high quality, extremely comfortable max stack shoe for easy runs, for recovery runs, for slow runs. Many people will love it. And if there's anything I've discovered, especially from the conversations I've had in the comments section of my videos, please continue to go there and tell me what you're thinking. I love hearing your opinions. It is that a good percentage of runners love sponginess in their running shoes. That includes my wife, who we will chat with in just a minute. But a good percentage of runners don't love sponginess in their running shoes, including me. And here's where I have the most serious problem, because it's these runners, it's the runners who don't enjoy sponginess in their running shoes, that the Superblast has always catered to. Soft and spongy is not the promise of the Superblast. In the Asics range, soft and spongy is the promise of the Nimbus. So, while I've heard a lot of people saying that the Superblast 3 should actually be known as the Megablast 2, or indeed that the Megablast should be known as the Superblast 3, I don't agree with either of those concepts. I think the Superblast 3 should be known as the Nimbus Max. And that's because of the promise that it delivers on. It takes what the Nimbus already does really well and it supercharges it. And by the way, if you're finding this video helpful, please do like and subscribe. This video on its own did cost us a little bit, as we buy all of our own review shoes so that we can give you the most honest feedback possible. And one way you can help us out for free is to tap those like and subscribe buttons. Thank you very much. So during my final Superblast 3 test run this morning, I wanted some other points of view because I think the Superblast is too important a shoe to trust to one opinion, particularly in this world of so many different types of runners and so many different types of feet. So this morning I went out running with my wife Jenny and with our 13-year-old son Ben, who is becoming quite an accomplished little runner in his own way, and after whom this channel was named. Jen wore her new Superblast 3s and Ben and I swapped between Superblast 2s and Superblast 3s. We're currently both the same size shoe, and so we swapped a couple of times on the run so we could compare the two. Then we came back here and I asked them both what they thought. So Benny, what did you think about the Superblast 3s this morning? You ran in both, the 2 and the 3. What did you think of the 3?
Both of the 2s and 3s, I didn't really like them.
You didn't like the 2 or the 3?
Nah.
Okay, what didn't you like about both of them, first of all?
I don't know, they're just really big and really, like, brick.
They're like a big brick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you said that. Remember when we did the test of 4 or 5 different shoes a while back?
Yeah.
I remember you said that about this shoe then. This is the first time you've ever run in the Superblast 3. What did you think of that specifically?
Well, first and foremost, I don't like the design.
You don't like the designs?
Yeah.
It is interesting, isn't it?
It's pretty unique. And it's just like, it like springs down and squishes, but it squishes in a weird way. It's as if you're like standing on a pillow and just going up and down, which might sound good, but like, nah.
Kind of a pillowy softness, you mean?
Yeah, not my type of stuff.
Does it spring back up?
A little bit.
What, but enough or not enough? Because what you're describing, when you say running on pillows, that makes me think of something that's too soft. Is that what you mean, or do you mean something different?
Exactly, like too soft.
Too soft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like too squishy.
So what are your favorite kinds of shoes?
The Metaspeeds.
You like Metaspeeds.
Yeah.
What's your current park run record?
1809.
18 minutes and 9 seconds.
Yeah.
And what were you wearing?
Metaspeeds.
You were wearing Metaspeed Sky?
Whatever ones we had in Japan. I forgot.
Yeah, you were wearing Metaspeed Sky. So you like racing shoes. Did you know that this FlyteFoam Leap is the same foam as in the Metaspeed Sky, the green Metaspeed Skies? Does it feel the same?
Wait. Now you just made me... No.
No, it's not a trick question. I'm just saying, does it feel the same or does it feel different?
No, it feels way different.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. How does it feel different?
It goes further down, like when your foot goes down, it squishes more, but it doesn't spring up as much.
Yeah, okay. You sink down into it and you don't bounce back.
You sink down more than the Metaspeeds, but you don't spring back as much as the Metaspeeds.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's exactly what I think as well. But so, would you wear these again?
Not for a fast run.
Would you wear them for any run?
If it's just a slow one, probably.
Okay. Thank you for that. High five. Okay, Jenny, how did you like your run this morning in the new Superblast 3s?
I loved it. I thought they were fantastic. They were definitely higher than all the shoes I usually run in, but they were very comfortable. And I did a block run, so that meant I was doing 4 kilometres quite slowly, 8 kilometres fast, and then the next 2 quite slowly again. The 8 kilometres that I did quite fast, I kept the speed really well. I felt they pushed me along adequately. I was reminded of one of my favourite shoes, the Superblast 1, which when I first got these years ago, you can tell because they're very, very dirty. These were game-changing for me in terms of running.
You called them, what did you call them when you first ran in them?
My yellow speedsters.
Yellow Speedsters. So that's funny because I think these are not that dissimilar to the Superblast 2s, and here's your pair of Superblast 2s, but you were not fond of these.
I was not. I still run in them, and I'll still do runs in them, but on my feet the speeds that I run, these just feel hard. They feel a bit wooden. These feel more lively.
And this is what I'm hearing from a lot of people. I find Superblast 2s to be absolutely perfect for my kind of running.
Yeah.
And I find these way too sloshy, sort of too spongy.
Like pillowy.
But you're the opposite. You actually feel that these give you more spring off.
But I'm never going that. Even when I said I did 8 kilometres fast, it still wasn't that fast. It was fast for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, they're shoes that you love.
Yes, they are. I will definitely be taking them out again. This is definitely yes for me. Could I say one negative thing?
Yeah, of course you can.
These are much higher than regular shoes. When I was going fast, it was fine. I didn't even notice the height. As soon as I slowed down and had to do my cool down, which was more of a feet low to the ground, casual jog, I did that toe did catch and I almost tripped.
Yeah.
I almost stumbled.
Which has happened to me a few times as well when I'm running slowly.
Now that's happened, I will have to be mindful to making sure I lift my feet.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. High five like I did with Benny. So there it is. Jenny is a big fan of the Superblast 3. She did not like the Superblast 2, like a lot of people, because she found it too firm. And so for her, the Superblast 3 is absolutely perfect, and it's now one of her favourite shoes. Ben, on the other hand, was not a big fan. He doesn't really like anything that's super stacked. In fact, I think he's really only interested in going as fast as he possibly can right now. That's because of his age. And so anything that can't move him along as fast as a racing shoe can, he's not really interested in. And this certainly cannot move him along fast. So let's sum it all up. Superblast 3 is now a shoe purely for recovery runs and long, slow runs. If you love a spongy shoe, as lots and lots of people do, if you love the Asics Gel Nimbus, the Nike Vomero Plus, the Puma Mag Max, the Hoka Skyward X, the Brooks Glycerin Max, it's quite a crowded market out there, then you will also love the Superblast 3s. Whether you agree with its premium price, now that it is not the do-it-all shoe that it used to be, is another question altogether. However, if you loved the Superblast 2, and if pace and springiness is more important to you than all-out comfort and cushioning, then this is definitely not the shoe for you. If you are in that second group, like I am, then maybe do what I did and go out and grab a nice new pair of Superblast 2s, which are on sale in a lot of places right now, because very, very soon they will no longer be available, and that, I think, is a real bummer. I hope this helped your decision making on these incredible quality but very, very different Superblasts. Once again, please do like and subscribe. It's free and easy and it helps our little channel quite a lot. Thank you. My next review is a very different shoe to the Superblast, but it's still one that contains Leap foam. I can't wait to tell you all about it. Subscribe so you don't miss out. And with that, my Superblast sermon ends. See you next week.